chewy Fruit Vines Bites from the Red Vines family. Introducing Fruit Vines Bites. Live on the sweet side with Fruit Vines.
There is an unmistakable quality our pets bring out in us, an energy that makes us feel more human, more complete. At Petco, we think our pets should feel just as complete. It's what inspired our Complete Care philosophy that all begins with proper nutrition. Like Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs, offering outstanding nutrition that
Now with the Xfinity TV Go app, you can watch live TV anytime. It's never been easier with so many networks all in one place. Get live TV whenever you want. The Xfinity TV Go app, now with live TV on the go. Enjoy over Wi-Fi or exclusively on Verizon Wireless 4G LTE. Plus, now you get a $100 prepaid card when you purchase any new Verizon Wireless smartphone or tablet from Comcast. Call 1-866-SAVE-100 today.
In my country, investment opportunity emerges rapidly. Franklin Templeton has been here for decades to see it firsthand.
Invest through the eyes of hundreds of local experts worldwide. Franklin Templeton Investments.
What's your vet IQ? Do you know why vets recommend Minties? Because Minties helps clean teeth, freshen breath, and control plaque and tartar for a fraction of the cost of Greenies. Now that's a good trick. High quality without the high cost. That's vet IQ smart.
Caused by exposure to asbestos.
Call 1-800-278-0768 now.
America's Morning Headquarters with Sam Champion.
Not just a morning forecast, a morning show.
AMHQ with Sam Champion, the Weather Channel's brand new morning show.
All right, time now for our tropical update, looking at a camera about probably about 200 miles to the south of the center of Ramasoon here in the Philippines. You can see somebody out walking on the beach. This is not the worst part of this. You can see the palm trees swaying around, but winds are out of the west, as you would imagine, being on the south side of a hurricane or a typhoon, as they are called there. And there's certainly some wave action here coming on through, but the worst of this storm is to the north and possibly still south of Manila. I just looked at the last 3 hourly observations, and they've had gusts to tropical storm force, weak tropical storm force, but that's it. Nothing sustained yet, and hopefully it'll stay that way. So this is a 125 mile per hour, Cat 3, moving west-northwest at 16. Potentially, actually, right now, if you were to put it on a spot, it would probably be about right here in terms of where it is. But this evening, again, because we drew this graphic earlier, I want to show you what's going to happen. Think about this. The wind is blowing off of the shoreline near Manila, so it's pushing the water out. And that's what those arrows indicate there. But as the storm goes by, the big concern is what's going to happen in that bay. It's going to be just like, imagine if you had a plate full of water and you tipped it to the left. All that water is going to go on one side and probably off the plate, right? But then you put the plate back even and you fill it full of water again, and then you tip it the other way. Well, it's going to go back the other way and fall off. That's what's going on. Once those winds come around, it's going to come back in the bay and come back into the coastline. So that's what we're worried about big time here in the bay near Manila. And, of course, 5 to 10 feet is probably what we're going to see in terms of the rise. But trust me, take it from yours truly, this stuff comes up fast. This is different than Super Typhoon Haiyan back in November of 2013 because it's going to be farther north in terms of where it is coming in. Plus, it's weaker. All right, this is not a super typhoon. It's not as large, and it's certainly not going to have 20-foot of storm surge with it. But you know what? You're taking it over a city of 12 million people, or close enough to it, so it certainly could have some impacts. Now, here's a close-up look at the infrared satellite, and a couple of loops. I'm going to have to make this a little bit longer. You can see the eye right there, and then it disappears. It disappears. And we really seem to have lost a little bit of that eye wall structure. So if this is kind of this filling in eye now, we've lost that really deep eye wall structure in this area. So, maybe some good news here. Here's the radar out of Pagasa, which is their meteorological service down there. And Manila is right here. All right. Certainly, one could argue that down to the south, there's some semblance of a circulation center right here. On the east side of that and around it is where we find the eye wall and what's left of it. But again, I find, it's kind of interesting. It looks like at least part of this northern eye wall is close to Manila. But, I have not seen gusts. Now, of course, I'll walk out to my desk after I do the top of the hour, and I'll see a gust to 80 miles an hour. But I have not seen gusts over 45 miles an hour yet. So cross your fingers, guys. Cross your fingers. As this moves its way off toward the west, it weakened. It is going to strengthen again to a Category 3 at 120 miles per hour. It's probably weakened now down to Cat 2, but it's going to come back up to Cat 3. Move very close to Hainan, be in South China and North Vietnam as we work our way into the weekend. And again, as a Category 3, potentially making landfall first in Hainan and then eventually into northern Vietnam here. So something to watch, guys, obviously even post Philippines. So here's the rainfall forecast through Thursday. Obviously, with the storm moving on to the west and now being more of a coastal location, this 5 to 8 inches shouldn't be all that bad. 8 to 12 probably taken out of the picture at this point. And I did not see rain on the observations either in Manila, even though I think it is raining and has been raining for the last several hours there. Obviously, the heaviest of which right now. So, Kim, some of the worst weather coming through Manila right now and over the next several hours, but we'll have to see what happens once that storm shifts to the west and those winds push the water back into the bay. Back to you.
Surge could be an issue. Thanks so much, Jim. We're continuing to track storms that are moving through the northeast from high winds and heavy rains. Well, it could lead to an even bigger problem, flooding. We've seen it already. The timing, who will be affected, and why you need to be cautious when you're heading out in the morning. That's all coming up in the next hour of Weather Center Live.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 75, chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms, high 91, chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Happening right now, scenes like this all over the Philippines. Already a deadly typhoon affecting millions of people. Storm tracker Jim Cantori will show us the biggest concerns with this typhoon as it still moves over the Philippines right now. And then there's this car driving right into the water. The danger of flooding. We will break down this video coming up at the bottom of this hour, but right now we are focusing on some problems and some other areas that could see more flooding just like this. There are storms firing with multiple threats tonight along the East Coast, in fact from the southeast all the way up to Maine. Let's go to storm tracker Jim Cantori. He's keeping an eye on the dangerous storms right now. Hi, Jim.
Yeah, and it continues to boggle my mind why people still drive through that floodwater like that. It's at night. You can't tell how deep it is. It's obviously moving fast. You can see that in your headlights, and you drive right in there. So instead of having a bunch of meteorologists on, maybe we should have like a psychologist on to a psychiatrist to talk about why people are doing this. All right, anyway, what's going on? Big trough in the east, lots of warm, moist air out ahead of this thing. Showers and thunderstorms have been erupting all day. Next round is getting ready to move into Washington, D.C. as well, and will do so right now sub-severe. The big question is, will it stay that way? Front continues to drive to the east, but it is not off the coast yet. Penobscot, Piscataquis counties, Corinth, Dexter, Dover, Foxcroft under a severe thunderstorm warning now. Big rain, big wind, flash flood warnings have been lining up with these two supercells all night long. At times they've even rotated and gone tornadoes. So far, though, we're looking pretty good in terms of these storms. You can see here on the radar still some good-sized cores, probably some very, very heavy rain with these. Actually, since I've got the Doppler radar up, let's take a look at This, yes. All right. So what that shows me is right where we have this, it's very, very heavy rain. This is not a signature where you'd say, oh, this is huge hail, this is monster hail. This is very, very heavy rain coming out. As a matter of fact, Forbes tells me that in Madison, the police department in Madison is flooded in Madison, Maine. That is incredible, to say the least, with what's going on there. All right, let's take you down toward New York City. They got big problems with the traffic there. Raining again. All right, the heaviest rain, though, is down on the Jersey Shore. A couple of storms to the west of Philly, still raining there as well. So we've got a nice steady rain going on. Look at this. Numerous underpasses beneath Southern State Parkway closed due to flooding, including Peninsula Boulevard, Long Beach, and also Milburn Ave. All these areas just getting absolutely hammered with the rainfall. This is where some of the heaviest rain is. And these reports here are what closed us down earlier. And guess where the George Washington Bridge is? All right, right about, let's see, George, right here, right where the 9 is, Jersey and New York. And that's the Cross Bronx Expressway. So that was closed due to flooding earlier on, and that's that report right there. Obviously, big problems in New York City. You just can't recover from that quickly. Again, very heavy rain has made its way now to the Jersey Shore. Long Branch, Toms River, down towards Stafford. Could get a wind gust to 65 miles per hour with some of this as it just collapses. And look at this one storm just kind of hanging out by itself here to the west of Philadelphia. That's kind of interesting, kind of watching the stratiform rain move along and then kind of leaving this lone heavy rain frog strangler on its way toward Philadelphia here. Here's round 2 coming into Washington, Manassas, all the way down to Fredericksburg. All this heading off toward the east. Very, very heavy rain. Look at Richmond getting soaked right now down to Petersburg. So if you're making the drive down Interstate 95, whether you keep on going or make the connection off to 85, you're getting absolutely soaked with rainfall there. It looks like the heaviest rain right now is down toward Widewater and north toward Manassas. All right, we have had phenomenal rain in Cary, North Carolina. 3.71 in an hour. That's almost 4 inches an hour. I can't even imagine that. I mean, that's seriously, at 2 inches an hour, you're slowing down where you see everybody flashing their lights and everybody's going about 15 miles per hour. These are 3-hour rainfall estimates, which is pretty much on par with some of the 1 hours that we're getting. And look at that, right to the south of Durham and right over Raleigh here, guys. Again, one other thing I forgot to mention because I'm running out of time. Watch out in Phoenix. We've got cell mergers going on right now, and thunderstorms are blowing up right over downtown Phoenix. They've got a flash flood warning out off to the northeast of town. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Now we're going to take a look at where that threat for more storms will be, including the threat for flooding and some potentially damaging winds as well. And Kyla Grogan joins us with a look at the threat tonight and beyond.
Yes, we have so much to talk about. Unfortunately, the people are going to have to be on the lookout, Chris. So let's get right to it, take you to the maps and show you where you need to be looking out tonight. You saw all of the storms that are fired up along the East Coast where Jim was showing you New England right on down to the mid-Atlantic. I'm going to future track this for you so we can get an idea of when it's heading out. And the bottom line is it's going to be an active night. As you can see, we get into the late night hours. Hartford still seeing some of those showers. Finally, we get into the overnight hours. That's when we'll catch a little bit of a break, but northern New England still in it and the overnight hours too. Then we're talking about Virginia right on down to that Georgia coastline. So Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, Charlotte, and Raleigh. We do have those severe thunderstorms rolling as well. Lots of rain coming down with these. And as we future track these through as well tonight, it's just going to be a tough one. We can't tell you that it's going to be over anytime soon. We've got to wait until we get into tomorrow to see a little bit better of a story there. And that's not the only place, the East Coast. We also have to look out for those of you in Casper, Wyoming, Denver, Colorado, all the way down to Amarillo, Texas. We've got the chance of a tornado, damaging wind, and hail a possibility for you. And what's happening there is all that cold air where everyone's getting that cool down in the Midwest is spilling down to the south, meeting up with that warm, moist flow as our low pressure system tracks across. It kicks off the stormy weather. So not just today, but also we've got to look out tomorrow again in Denver and now down to Amarillo and Lubbock, Texas. This threat is going to go on a little bit longer, unfortunately. You can see on Thursday now it presses over to Dallas, down to San Antonio. So it's going to be a bit of a rough ride for those of you in the southern plains. So get ready for that. Make sure you have a way of getting your watches and your warnings. And then on Friday, you can see here it moves over to Little Rock, Arkansas, down to New Orleans, Austin, Texas, down to Corpus Christi. So a lot of people in the path of this and a lot of rain coming your way in southeast Oklahoma, northeast Texas. Look at Little Rock. You could see 3 to 5 inches of rain. You know, I hate to leave you on a bad note like that, but we do need rain. We don't like it when we get it that quickly and that much coming down, but be prepared for it. Dallas, for you, it's more 1 to 2 inches. Chris.
All right, Kyle, thank you. It's a story we'll follow the next couple of days here on Weather Center Live. And as we go through this show tonight, we're going to count down the top 5 videos of the day, starting with number 5. It's been hot in the West. What a way to cool down right here. This is in San Francisco, an urban slip and slide. And you can really see here, ooh, that's got to hurt. Hopefully there's padding underneath there, but there's a cool feeling in San Francisco, not just the water, but also the air. It is cool right now compared to much of the country. Clouds around in the Bay Area. Temperatures in the upper 60s right now. And if you're watching in the Midwest and you say, hey, that sounds refreshing, well, it's coming your way. Here's a look at what you can expect overnight tonight into tomorrow. Watch these temperatures drop in the 60s by midnight and then down, here they go, down into the 50s, possibly in the 40s. In fact, Green Bay, 49. We're going to have that complete cool down forecast next.
I need a password for our new investment account.
We haven't used the dog's name lately.
But it needs 10 characters and a symbol.
Okay, add Katie's birthday and a $sign.
Ah.
Did you put the $sign before or after Katie's birthday?
I have to start over.
Meet Dashlane, the solution to your password problems. Securely manage your passwords, automatically log into any website, and generate strong passwords. Go to dashlane.com and get it for free today.
There. Hot stuff.
Not turning the thermostat down.
That's not what I was doing. I was just having fun. Come here. Nice and tight. Atta girl.
Daddy.
There's a sweet spot. Hold on. That didn't happen in practice.
There's a better way. Mitsubishi Electric Systems give you the temperature you want in any room with no ductwork and lower energy bills. Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating. Live better. Go to MitsubishiComfort.com.
The Coasties are back.
She's going down!
And tonight, the Weather Channel is the only place to find them.
Look off to your starboard side here.
Brave Americans protecting our borders and navigating the graveyard of the Pacific Northwest. Out here, heroes come in waves. Coast Guard, Cape Disappointment. Tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low, 75. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms. High, 91. Chance of rain, 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Weather Channel's new morning show.
It all starts with the weather.
America's morning headquarters with Sam Champion. Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel.
She keeps you on your toes. You wouldn't have it any other way. But your erectile dysfunction? It could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about experiencing Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
Right right now, a live look at Minneapolis, Minnesota right now. Not looking too bad. It's the site of tonight's Major League All-Star game. Let's take a look at those temperatures, and we're looking at those temperatures into the upper 60s. Not for another hour or so. So keep it right here on Weather Center Live, and it's going to get even cooler. There is a Midwest cool down on the way. In fact, it's going to feel more like fall in the coming days, especially in the morning. Early fall, but albeit much cooler. In Kansas City, so this cool air is getting pretty far to the south. In Kansas City, the morning record, tomorrow morning's record low is 57 degrees. We're expecting 55. Could break an overnight minimum, an overnight low record tomorrow. Temperatures right now running in the lower 70s and upper 60s throughout the Great Lakes and the Midwest right now. And we're going to see these temperatures plummet overnight. In fact, right now the temperatures are cooler than yesterday. You might notice that it's 8 degrees cooler in Chicago than what it was yesterday at this time. Cooler air has arrived, and it's going to be around for a little while here. You see that taste of fall with that big dip in the jet stream hanging around 5 to 15 degrees, cooler than average for much of the rest of the week. In fact, tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up with lower 40s in Marquette, Michigan, still in the 40s on Thursday. Minneapolis, the upper 50s. And by Friday morning, you see a little bit more yellow returning on the map there, and some slightly warmer air moving back into the picture here, but still overnight lows dropping down into the 50s and turning mild once again in Marquette, 56 degrees. So tomorrow your daytime highs will warm back up, but more like fall temperatures. Not going to need the AC, and we're going to see these temperatures into the 70s for daytime highs. And then finally parts of Missouri and Illinois will be back into the 80s by the end of the week. Northwest still hot for a big chunk, but the cool down has arrived for some areas. Let's go to meteorologist Mark Elliott with that side of things. Mark.
Yeah, Chris, still hot for most of the Pacific Northwest. This is a heat wave by Pacific Northwest standards. We'll look at Seattle, for example, where you've already had 2 90-degree or better days. Your average for a whole year is 3. So if you get another heat wave, that average could be passed. But how about this? It's not just about 90 degrees or more. It's about this. Highs, 15 of the last 16 days have been above that average piece. So yeah, it is warm out there, that's for sure. The heat advisories from Seattle down through Portland have expired. You get into central and eastern Washington or southern Oregon, that's where the heat advisories are still in play. The temperatures now are balmy, to put it lightly. 83 in Seattle. You get over towards Boeing Field or downtown, it's as high as 86. Portland's still close to 90. Medford 102. This, if you're in the center of the country or even down towards the Gulf Coast, doesn't sound too bad, but much of the Pacific Northwest does not have air conditioning, and the low temperatures have been staying warm as well, all thanks to this high. There's nothing here to kind of kick out these warm temperatures, so we're going to stay 5 to 10 degrees above average, although we are going to be on a cooling trend. So there is some good news here, Chris, right? 86 tomorrow in Seattle, while Portland will be near 90 again. But we slowly calm down these readings over the next few days. By Thursday in Portland, closer to 84. So it gets a little bit better. And you can see that in Medford, too. Plenty hot tomorrow, 102, but closer to average by the time we get into the weekend. Chris.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And now as we count down the top 5 videos of the day, we're on to number 4. Take a look at this. Remember the supermoon? This is from the United Arab Emirates, the UAE. And there's a guy worker there in front of the moon. He used the telephoto lens. You get a really cool shot there. The next 2 supermoons will happen this summer, August 10th, and then again on September 9th. And right now on Weather Center Live, we are watching this. Once again, another very dangerous storm, a typhoon in the Pacific. Storm tracker Jim Cantore, he's going to be back with a look at what are going to be the biggest dangers of this and when they'll likely happen. Manila, millions of people potentially in danger because of this large storm. We're going to be right back here on Weather Center Live.
Presenting the science behind Behr's most advanced exterior paint and primer ever. Behr Marquee. In competitive tests, Behr came out on top. The tough non-stick surface resists dirt buildup. The advanced UV protection makes the color last longer. Behr makes the beauty yours to keep. With Behr Marquee. Exclusively at the Home Depot. Good, better, Behr.
Red, white, and blue pancakes are under $5. That's about as American as it gets.
What do you mean?
Blueberry pancakes, strawberries, and cream cheese icing starting at just $4.99. Apple pie, watch out.
Welcome to Denny's. If you don't think I've still got it when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Life Reimagined gives you tools and support to get the career you'll love. Find more real possibilities at aarp.org/possibilities.
Momentum has a way of quietly exploding onto the scene. The new Ram 1500 Eco Diesel with 28 highway miles per gallon, 420 pound-feet of torque. Guts, glory, Ram.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Balance. It's just as important for our companions' lives as it is for ours. It's finding the right ratio of work and play, rest and reflection, giving and receiving. It's why at Petco, we're so selective about the food we offer, like Hill's Ideal Balance, natural ingredients perfectly balanced for your pet's best health. Because when each of us is more balanced, together, we're more complete. Petco, the power of together.
The Coasties are back.
He's going down.
And tonight, the Weather Channel is the only place to find them.
Look off to your starboard side here.
Brave Americans protecting our borders and navigating the graveyard of the Pacific Northwest.
My husband worked at a power plant where the asbestos fell like snow.
My dad got mesothelioma from asbestos.
Oh, the diagnosis was devastating.
We chose Cooney and Conway because they're highly experienced in this area.
They were more than lawyers. They were human beings.
There was no money up front.
It showed my sons that there is justice in the world.
Call 1-800-322-5573. Cooney and Conway. Justice with a passion.
Have you suddenly noticed bags, wrinkles, or dark circles under your eyes? Make a sudden change in mere minutes. Sudden Change Under Eye Serum with skin-firming ingredients smooths it all away. Make a sudden change in mere minutes.
When irritated, itchy summer skin holds me back, I count on Cortisone 10 Intensive Healing, with the strongest non-prescription itch medicine available for fast, long-lasting relief, and 7 moisturizers to help heal skin. Cortisone 10. Feel the heal.
Shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No risk-free today.
Every Sunday night, we're showing 3 regular guys what it takes to survive.
Fat Guys in the Woods, premiering Sunday, August 10th on the Weather Channel.
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low, 75. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms. High, 91. Chance of rain, 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Typhoon Ramasan hammering the Philippines right now. The storm being blamed for killing at least 1 person. And at this hour, there are reports of widespread damage to more than 10,000 homes. And things could get even worse. Right now, the typhoon is on a direct threat to the capital city of Manila. And a look at some of those threats right now in the tropical update. We're going to go to storm tracker Jim Cantori standing by right now at the expert desk. And once again, Jim, the Philippines
19.
getting hit really hard by a large storm, and the threat and the danger, it's not over. It's not over for a little while.
No, it's not. I mean, what we're going to have to watch out. I mean, here's the good news. Good news, bad news. Good news is the only winds I've seen in the last 4 hours have been gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour. That's it, just in gusts. We have not had even sustained tropical storm force at the airport in Manila. The bad news is once the storm gets to the west of Manila, whether it's weakened or not, it's still going to push all the water in the bay back up toward the coastline, just like I dealt with in North Carolina on the sound side. So that is what we're going to keep an eye on here over the next several hours. So we're not out of the woods yet, but I like what I see with the winds, and I'll show you why I think the storm is weakening. At the 2 o'clock, it was a 125-mile-per-hour hurricane. Typhoon, same thing. I doubt it is right now. I really do, and I'll show you why in just a second. So here's what I'm talking about. Winds offshore with the storm to the west and even to the south, but watch what happens once the storm heads on off toward the west. Winds shift direction out of the southwest, and that pushes all that water up against the coastline. So here's where you're going to get your 5 to 10 feet of surge coming in out of this, and we do think certainly that has a chance of happening here as we work our way through this evening. All right, so here we go. Widespread damage with Haiyan. This was a super typhoon, 7,300 people losing their lives back in November 2013. This storm has come farther to the north, not to mention it is much weaker, not the same animal in any way, shape, or form as Haiyan was. So here we go. We're dealing with Ramasoon. The good news is, as we look at this infrared imagery, you'll notice the eye right there passing over the PH in Philippines, and then we lose it. It's completely filling in now. So that is a good sign. Plus, you'll notice the deep, deep purples right here south of Manila, kind of leaving us maybe out of the circulation center entirely, as the whole thing looks like it's kind of collapsed inward here a little bit. And we did expect it to certainly weaken. And you can see that a little bit here on our microwave imagery. This is just like taking a look at an MRI of the storm. And look at that eye. Focus on that eye, that center. All right, here it is. Strengthening, coming in. So look at that eye even tightening up a little bit. 125. Now it's filling in, now it's filling in, now it's filling in, and gone. All right? So that's a good thing. We like to see that, especially with a storm that's approaching 12 million people. So this is the last advisory. It is forecast to weaken. I think it has done that. It is going to move back out over the water and make its way toward Hainan, eventually maybe South China or even northern Vietnam, as a Category 3 again, possibly. And that's as early as Friday night and on towards Saturday evening as well. So potentially a double landfall coming up again, both either in South China or Hainan or into northern Vietnam as we work our way into Friday night and Saturday night, respectively. So a storm, again, that right now, guys, as of last check, the last 4 hours, gusting to 40 to 45 miles per hour. That's it. That's what we see right now in Manila. Chris, back to you.
All right, Storm Tracker Jim Cantori, thank you. Right now we are down, as we count down the top 5 videos, we're down to number 3. And this is the scene over the weekend in Saugerties, New York at a music festival. Too much rain leading to a muddy mess. A lot of the people there for the festival couldn't get out. They were stuck for quite a while, and you can imagine some frustrations and an awful big mess. Also, what caused that, we're seeing here some flooding in New Jersey. This is some new video into the Weather Channel from Jersey City. We're going to take a look at where the threats are for more flooding going through this evening and the overnight hours into tomorrow. Also, flooding in the southwest causing a big problem for one driver right here. Look at this, just charging right into the water. Storm Tracker Jim Cantori and I are going to break this video down, look at what may have led to this, and show it to you coming up next.
Pillsbury knows that bold, bright color makes everything more exciting. Like these 4 amazing colors of Pillsbury Funfetti that turn everyday moments into celebrations of delicious fun. Celebrate more vibrantly.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that taking pictures of your belongings helps when you have a claim? Or that Farmers offers a policy that'll replace your car with a new one if it's totaled within the first 2 model years? And that parking near a street lamp deters thieves. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are Farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Call 1-800-FARMERS and see how much you could save. Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically Slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic Slushes, now available with Nerds Candy. This is how you Sonic.
Want to know how hard it can be to breathe with COPD? It can feel like this. COPD includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Spiriva is a once-daily inhaled COPD maintenance treatment that helps open my airways for a full 24 hours. You know, Spiriva helps me breathe easier.
Spiriva Handihaler Tiotropium Bromide Inhalation Powder does not replace rescue inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor if you have kidney problems, glaucoma, trouble urinating, or an enlarged prostate. These may worsen with Spiriva. Discuss all medicines you take, even eye drops. Stop taking Spiriva and seek immediate medical help if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes or eye pain, or problems passing urine. Other side effects include dry mouth and constipation.
Nothing can reverse COPD. Spiriva helps me breathe better.
Does breathing with COPD weigh you down? Don't wait to ask your doctor about Spiriva Handihaler.
Great. This is the last thing I need.
Seriously? The last thing you need is some guy giving you a new catalytic converter when all you got is a loose gas cap. Let's take this puppy over to Midas and get you some of that good old Midas touch. Dude, you know what? I'll drive. I really didn't think this through.
It's time to take a closer look at your tires. Get up to $160 back by mail on a set of 4 Goodyear, Cooper, and other select brands. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
That's smooth. Transform your worn weather deck into a beautiful barefoot-friendly surface with Olympic Rescue It Wood and Concrete Resurfacer.
Who are you talking to?
Olympic Rescue It, from America's most trusted brand since 1938. Available at Lowe's.
Our oath isn't an empty gesture. It's the heart and soul of Terminix Nation. The Terminix Ultimate Protection Guarantee. 100% satisfaction or your money back. Not here, not now, not in my house. Terminix.
The Coasties are back.
She's going down.
And tonight, the Weather Channel is the only place to find them.
Look off to your starboard side here.
Brave Americans protecting our borders and navigating the graveyard of the Pacific Northwest. Out here, heroes come in waves. Coast Guard, Cape Disappointment. Tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 75, chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms, high 91, chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Channel original series.
This is a dangerous job.
Catching Hell. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Right here, a driver going into the water had to be rescued after driving straight into the water. Just seemed like you just went right into it, into a flooded street. This is in Kingman, Arizona. The car floated away in a matter of seconds. Welcome back. I'm Chris Warren. Jim Cantori and I, we're going to go in depth on that video, show you the entire clip and do a little analysis on that. And of course, a little bit of don't do what you're seeing here talk as well. But right now, let's talk about what we are seeing on the, I know, Jim, you shake your head every time you see this. We're going to go in depth on that in a minute. But first, let's talk about where there is a concern right now for more flooding and more storms tonight.
All right, yeah. Please don't see what you saw on the. Don't do what you saw on the video tonight in many areas across Maine. As a matter of fact, Farmington, Maine, 6 to 12 inches of water rolling across Main Street in Farmington, Maine. We've had flooding, extensive flooding today on some of the major thoroughfares in and around New York City. Down into New Jersey, there has been flooding. We've had 4 inches an hour in Wake County, North Carolina, which is the Raleigh area. So, I mean, these are phenomenal amounts of water. Please let them recede. And I know you got to do. We're doers. We got to get stuff done, but just let the water come down before you drive through that stuff. Big trough in the east means big problems, especially when you've got tropical air streaming out ahead of it. And that's exactly what we've got going on here, and unfortunately continue to go on. The front is not offshore yet, albeit it's a little bit farther east than we have it now, but still, the point is it is not offshore, and we still have a chance for multiple rounds of thunderstorms. Here's the action in Maine: Penobscot, Piscataquis, Corinna, Dexter, Dover, Foxcroft. This is the area that we've seen the rain. Forbes told me earlier, Madison, Maine, Police Department, underwater. Underwater. Raining again in New York City. So all the traffic that's in and around New York. As a matter of fact, I think we have a camera there. We can see just how gray it is in and around New York City. And it is definitely gray. And now the rains are coming back into the picture. And, you know, Sarah, I may have you, I think you did go in closer to New York because I asked you to. There we go. And you can see, yeah, I knew you did. There you see New York. There you see Patterson, White Plains. This is where we had all the problems earlier. The George Washington Bridge is backed up all over the place. You can't close down the Cross Bronx Expressway and expect a free-flowing traffic evening, even in the rain. We've got big problems here, again, and more rain coming in. Look at that. Albeit, I don't see 3 inches an hour here, but still enough for flash flood warnings to be reissued. Here's the George Washington Bridge right here in New Jersey, right where the 9 and the 5 is, and that's the Cross Bronx Expressway. That's probably the flooding there. We've also had some flooding out on Long Island, not surprisingly, and this is 1 or 2 cells that did that. So it was almost like a big wet microburst that came across the ocean and then pretty much dropped itself right there on the south shore of Nassau and Suffolk County. Raining in D.C. again. Severe thunderstorm warning for areas south of Fredericksburg, so Spotsylvania County in the city of Spotsylvania. Looks like some heavy rain getting ready to push across Interstate 95, and now the heaviest rain is pushed east of 95, at least south of Alexandria, and through Widewater and Manassas. So we've dodged one there. Here's Raleigh getting a little bit of a break right now as the rains are slipping off to the north, but this is where we had extraordinary rainfall totals, 4 inches an hour in Wake County in some spots, and that is on a ton of asphalt, ladies and gentlemen, so it's not going anywhere. Also had some problems in Charlotte, in Mecklenburg, Union counties. Now we're starting to see some storms firing again. We'll see what these do and how long they last. Down to Charleston, watch out for some strong and damaging winds here. And finally, last but not least, into Phoenix. Strong showers and storms here. What goes up after 103-degree high is coming down quickly, but not quickly enough, Chris, to cause wind damage or locally heavy rain. At least that's what we see right now in downtown Phoenix. Back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Now let's find out where we can see more of that severe weather for the rest of the week. Kyla Grogan keeping an eye on that. Kyla.
Yes, we're going to push this story forward, and tomorrow you will still have to deal with some of those scattered thunderstorms in the daytime there from the mid-Atlantic up to the northeast. As we get into the evening hours, though, later afternoon hours will start to clear out, but those of you in the further reaches of New England still going to be dealing with it. So Bangor, Maine, Portland, Boston, yeah, we'll get better. Bangor, you get your sunshine on Friday, so hang in there. Then let's head to the south where we've got a cold front that's been tracking in, and it's really going to stall out and make for some stormy weather for those of you in Florida, and that is Wednesday through your Thursday. So tomorrow you can see the scattered thunderstorms also along the coast here, including further inland into places like Raleigh, right down into Florida, particularly as we get into the afternoon. By Thursday, we'll be just dealing with Florida, so those of you in the Carolina coastline will get a little bit of a break. Now, tomorrow we also have to look out for Denver, where we could see severe weather. Chance of a tornado all the way down to Amarillo, Texas. Hail and damaging wind, definitely a possibility for you tomorrow, so have a way to get your watches and warnings. You can see on Thursday. Dallas, now you are in the picture for this dangerous weather, as is San Antonio, right on back to Fort Stockton. And then on Friday, you can see it really presses along the Gulf Coast and includes New Orleans and right up to Little Rock, Arkansas. Rain coming with this. Little Rock, look out. 3 to 5 inches coming your way. Parts of Oklahoma and Texas. Dallas looks like more of 1 to 2 inches for you. But let's leave you on a better note, show you when that stormy weather is going to head on out of there. In the Big D, yes, we will have that stormy weather with us Wednesday. Thursday will be dangerous, but by Saturday, a little warmer, looking much better. Over to you guys.
All right, Kyla, thank you very much. Storm Tracker Jim Cantori. We're going to do some video analysis and a big reminder of what not to do.
This is unbelievable, dude. This is in a state that has a a law that you get fined if you drive through water.
It's referred to as the stupid driver law.
Stupid motorist law, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
stupid motorist law, yeah.
You know, this blows my mind even further.
And we can go into why someone might do it. There's a lot of different reasons. Some could say the insurance. Some could say it's dark. You don't see it coming.
Is there anything we can listen on to that's not all cursing?
You see it go right into the water here.
No, there's not, unfortunately. Yeah, there's the tail light. There's the tail light. Eventually, it's going to come around, all right? So you'll see the headlights again. There it is right there. So the car's spinning in the water. I mean, immediately going in and being washed down. Now, you can't tell me that you're sitting there and you're looking at that water in front of you in your headlights and you can't see it moving, right? We're going to assume that this person can see that.
Well, here's the thing, too, that's tough about this is the area. If you're driving this water on the road in Arizona, in the Southwest, anywhere really, there's a reason that water's coming down, right? They've had some strong storms.
Exactly.
The water's not supposed to be on the road to begin with.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But clearly, this person had. We're not showing. They paused there for a minute. They actually
so it looks
stopped.
like they might be judging.
Yeah, they stopped. So if we go back and look at this from start to finish, there's actually a point where he's stopped and backs up a little bit and then decides, all right, the hell with it. I'm going to drive right through this stuff and went for it.
Let's take a look. If we have the Google Earth. So this is it, Jim. As you know, a lot of the washes and arroyos in the
exactly
Southwest.
What this is right
this
here.
Is
Chris
what they look like. Yeah, and
right
he was coming in this direction, from left to right.
So he's coming this way. He stops, actually backs up a little bit, and then goes forward again, and it actually accelerates into it. So
it
now
looks like he's trying to go through it quickly.
Right. So what you've done is take something that's incompressible in water and accelerate to it. So you almost popped yourself over the top of it. Because you're not going to really go through the water, especially at that speed. So and here it is, I guess, on a dry day.
Point.
So is this looking down the road where he was looking at? Or
okay, so there's a walkway next to it, and then this is the road again. He's going from left to right, and that lighter concrete. That's where the video was taken from.
All right. Okay. So
now
this is what he crossed. This is where the arroyo that he crossed.
Where the word Morrow there. He went from the E over to the M, from Avenue to
so he's coming
Morrow.
this way.
Yes.
All right, and crossing over.
And
first
the spectators were all right.
First of all, look at how high that is right there. You can see how high this is. So already, just knowing that on a dry day, which...
Well, that's the walkway. The wash is over here.
Oh,
right
goodness.
Here. Yeah.
Well, where was he driving from? Oh, so here. He's driving this way.
Yeah, right across. So let's go ahead and take a look at it again.
Holy smoke.
If we can, and see if we can see.
Either way, you can see the water running, and that's the problem I have with it. You know, there's a big chance you're going to take. I don't know if anybody else was in the car with this person, and I certainly don't live in a glass house, folks, to be honest with you. But I'm going to tell you, when I see moving water, there it is right there again.
Well, we have to. We're going to take a look at some more videos coming up after the break here. But before we go to break, we want to show you the number 2 video of the day. If we have that, we're going to break down some of the videos. Jim, this is amazing. I don't know if you've seen this yet. This is also the monsoon. This is some of the dust, but wait for this. Watch this. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, some rain shafts.
The beautiful side of the monsoon in the Southwest. We're going to break it down. The whole crew will be back to take a look.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low, 75. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms. High, 91. Chance of rain, 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
In the nation, the safest feature in your car is you. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving. which for you shouldn't be a problem. Just another way we put members first, because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side. Check.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharpshooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit him in the leaves and it kills to the root. Ground fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. With a one-touch wand.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Make every day less every day. Introducing the all-new turbocharged Sonata from Hyundai.
It's Mike Holmes.
I see you care about cleaner air.
Just be cool. You like my giant Filtrete filter?
Well, you can see why you need the right filter to capture bacteria, pollen, viruses, even pet dander.
My Healthy Living filter captures small particles 4 times better than ordinary plated filters.
It's got to be a Filtrete filter, especially with this little one breathing that air all day.
She likes you.
Oh, you are cute.
Do you babysit?
I do, actually. It's
Oh.
part-time. Make it right with Filtrete filters. Filtrete, a better filter means better air.
When the pressure's on, only Secret offers clinical strength invisible solid and clear gel with 100% odor protection. Secret Clinical Strength.
So while the Qin dynasty united China, the Han...
Dr. Caro, what are you doing?
Trying to find the best hotel price for an upcoming conference. I have 3 lectures today, and this takes a while.
Well, why don't you use Kayak? It compares hundreds of hotel sites in seconds to find you the best deal.
Because although I'm an adjunct professor, it is not my job to know everything. The golden age!
Compare hundreds of travel sites at once. Kayak. Search one and done.
Top 5 time, we have the #1 video coming up in just a moment, but here's a recap of 5 through 2. See that slip and slide in San Francisco, one of the big hills there? And then there's the super moon, that was #4 in the United Arab Emirates. And then, it's definitely not a top video if you're at that music festival in New York with all that mud. And then how about that #2, the monsoon? So joining us now, meteorologist Mark Elliott, storm tracker Jim Cantori, and Kyla Grogan here to talk about some videos. Before we get to the #1, we're talk about the top 4. What do you guys think? What do you want to talk about?
Well, the monsoon's beautiful.
It is.
I mean, whether it's a dry microburst that you just see that's out in the middle of nowhere kicking up dust, not in the city.
Here
of Phoenix,
it is. Right.
Or it's a wet microburst, as the case here is. That's just shows a few rain shafts.
Yeah, the distinct 3 or maybe even 4 rain shafts there. That's pretty awesome.
What's definitely not beautiful are those cars in the mud. Can you imagine trying to get out?
Oh, Kyla, what's a little mud between friends?
And this is pre-mud here, the dust.
Yeah, that's right. That becomes mud in a hurry. You're right, Chris. Yeah, the mud things. I mean, you just can't get rid of it.
But you get a lot of people in one place.
Let's take a look at that to go to that music festival.
Yeah, that's.
If we have that, we're going to pull that up. This was a music festival in New York over the weekend. A lot of people were stuck. They couldn't, and they had to wait. I mean, if you were trying to get out of a music festival on a nice day, that takes forever.
That's right.
Didn't you go to Bonnaroo and have
I went to Bonnaroo
the same
for all
thing
4
happen in
days.
Tennessee?
I was walking around like mud, but there wasn't any mud. No, it was
incredible.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to get out. Your car. I don't care how good your traction is. You need to be pulled out by a tractor.
Ooh, okay, so should we take a look at the #1 video? We took a peek at some other ones.
I've been waiting with bated breath here for this one, so let's check it out.
Roll it.
And snow.
Oh, yeah, this is cool.
It's not snow. That's hail.
That's hail. I saw this in Colorado yesterday. Someone posted a picture, and it look like, 2 inches of fresh snowfall.
The first thing that reminds me of it, bear with me on this. You're in Las Vegas, and you just won the jackpot. And here's all the money coming out. The slot machine. You see all the money.
If it hailed with the sound effect, it'd be a lot more fun.
Well, if it looks like it snows in July at your house, you kind of did win, right?
I don't know I don't know what I thought of that for. I just saw all that hail coming off the front of the car. I'm just thinking, coins. I don't know.
Do you think this is an insurance adjuster's fantasy or nightmare?
Yeah. Do they
hail?
Yeah.
Nightmare, I would say.
But I mean, they have work to do.
Well, in all honesty, that's clearly an act of Mother Nature versus driving in the rain or the water. That's clearly an act of your own means, right?
Right, like you're talking about the Arroyo.
Yeah, the number one video that didn't make it.
That we just have to talk
about.
Right.
Yeah, right, you can't show me a video like that and not have.
Well, let's bring it back.
The thing about this video is it looks like the person stops, thinks about it, and goes for it.
Here it is.
I can't imagine.
Okay, they're going. We didn't see the stop there.
Oh,
it was just before that. The car was stopped and thought about it.
Wasn't even fully in the water before it got pulled down.
Right here.
The swiftness of the current.
I mean, moving water, it takes so deceptively little moving water to pick up your car.
It's completely spun around.
Well, in these washes in the desert, I mean, I was there for what they call the 100-year flood in Las Vegas. Incredible amount of water came down so quickly.
How fast was that moving?
Being from the Northeast, I thought, big deal, it's raining. And I was like, oh my God. It was moving like 30, 40 miles an hour. I watched a trailer that was along a wash get totally taken down. It was gone. Boom, just like that. That's how fast it was.
Example. If you've got a plate full of water, and if you just tip that a little bit, so I'm making an analogy with the flat land.
Right.
If you just tip it a little bit, all that weight and water just goes right to the other side and off the plate. Well, all you need is a little incline in some of these western, flat areas and deserts, and you're just going to rush that water, and that's what's happening.
And another thing to remember in the desert, it doesn't have to be raining over your head.
Sure.
It has to be raining in the hills.
Right.
And it can come down.
Now, I have to say one thing Jim and I were talking about is, again, I remember interviewing a search and rescue guy, right? The guy that comes out in the helicopter when you're the idiot that drives in the water and has to get you out of there. And he said, tell people this. If they can't think of their own safety, think of mine. I've got a family too.
Right.
You
put other people, innocent people in harm's way.
And that's why that law exists in Arizona. You don't have to pay for the rescue. I mean, you have to pay for the rescue.
And you can get prosecuted too.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad we brought that back?
It's good stuff, Jim. And we're bringing you back right after the break for the tropical update.
We have seen a pretty bona fide gust now in Manila.
All right, so things heating up in the Philippines. Storm Tracker Jim Cantori is going to be right back with a look at the biggest dangers. Here's a look at some of the strong winds in the Philippines. Coming up with that deadly typhoon next.
Right behind you.
Let's try on a new coat, one that covers better, lasts longer, and protects us from the elements, inside and out. Let's go to the place with the best paint. Take it home for less. Then rock and roll. Let's do the one thing that changes everything. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Bare Ultra Interior with advanced stain blocking starts at $31.98 a gallon.
America's Morning Headquarters with Sam Champion.
Not just a morning forecast, a morning show.
AMHQ with Sam Champion, the Weather Channel's brand new morning show.
The great white's the second baddest thing in the ocean. You know what number one is? I am. I'm a legend here, baby.
He calls himself the Great One.
I get those fish. It's natural talent.
Even the Great One has his limits.
Catch Richie on Catching Hell, Sunday at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low 75. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms. High, 91. Chance of rain, 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here's to the man who truly is the best of us.
Who really has the key to the city? With best-in-class payload and best-in-class cargo capacity and an unsurpassed powertrain warranty, you run the town. The all-new Ram ProMaster. Guts, glory, Ram.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Thanks, Melinda.
I have blah blah insurance, so person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. Dad, look who it is.
I see who it is.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Victims of mesothelioma and lung cancer caused by asbestos and their families may be entitled to receive a cash award from over $18 billion in asbestos trust funds now available. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer caused by asbestos, call the number on your screen now. Even if a loved one has passed due to mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer, you may still be entitled to a cash award. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer caused by exposure to asbestos. Many victims were in the Navy, shipyards, or power plants, or worked in the construction, plumbing, insulation, or automotive trades. Many more were exposed in and around their homes. For nearly 30 years, we have successfully helped thousands of victims and families get the financial compensation they deserve. Time is limited. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer caused by exposure to asbestos,
call 1-800-643-1772 now.
1-800-521-7892. Order online at pivottrim.com. Call or log on today.
The Coasties are back. And Monday, the Weather Channel is the only place to find them. Coast Guard, Cape Disappointment. Monday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
It's time now for the Tropical Update. I believe we have a Hurricane IQ question, and we're going to have the answer right now. We pop that up. We'll take a look. Your Hurricane IQ question. We didn't get to it before the break because we were chatting about videos.
Yes, sir.
But here's the question. Janet, Joan, Jean.
Sorry about that.
And this storm, I wasn't blaming you, in 2003 are the only J storm names to be retired. And Jim, you know this one. But first, let's let people get a chance here. Julia, Jerry, Josephine, or Juan. The only J storm names to be retired. One of them was in 2003. Jim, what do you know about that storm?
Juan. I don't remember a lot about that storm, but I know it was definitely a beefy storm for the Caribbean or Mexico. It was a very impactful storm down there.
And it went north, I believe. All right, so that's the J storm. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, it went north.
It didn't do much to the United States.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, so let's take a look now. It's tropical update time, and in the Philippines.
Yeah, this is the 2 o'clock advisory. Of course, at 2 o'clock, this was still a Category 3 bearing down on Manila. Obviously, bad news there. The good news is I don't think we have a Category 3 bearing down on Manila right now, and I'll show you why. So that's that. The center of this, Chris, now, because this only plots where it is at the advisory time, the center is where the second red arrow is. So almost, if you will, to the south of Manila at the present time. So let's take a look at this thing. And we're not out of this, whether it's weakened or not, because of what basically I dealt with on the sound side of North Carolina. So winds are offshore now. It's pushing all that water out. Pushing all of it out and holding it out in through here. But when the storm moves past us in the next couple of hours or so, and those winds shift out of the west, that's going to move all that water and push it back into the bay. And so when you force the water in and it can't get out, it can only do one thing.
It goes up.
It goes up. So it's going to pile up 5 to 10 feet of surge expected in through here. So the surge component may come well after we deal with some of the heaviest rain. All right, let's talk about the difference. Obviously, you remember high end back in November 2013. Huge issues down in Tacloban. We had massive amounts of flooding. Remember, this was a super typhoon. Very low pressure, 20-plus foot of surge with this one. This is not anything in way, shape, or form, Ramasoon, as it continues to move to the north. The path with this one, Chris, much, much farther, coming into the island of Luzon about 5 o'clock this morning and getting ready to exit here this evening. So let's take a look at this satellite picture. You can see right near the PH, that's the eye. All right, shows up as kind of a void in the deep colors, but that is really closed in now. All right, and it looks like some of the most intense weather is actually down here, at least on the infrared. That's just where the highest cloud tops are, but a little bit lighter weather, if you will, over toward Manila. But that doesn't mean we're necessarily out of the woods here. It just means that the storm's weakening. That's why I don't think it's 125 miles per hour at the present time. We just had a gust about 45 minutes ago of 70 miles per hour in Manila at the airport. So those gusts went right up in a big hurry. But here's another thing too, the microwave imagery, like looking at an MRI of the storm, see the eye tightening before it hits Luzon, boom, but now it's filling in quickly as we expect it to do when it crosses over land, and now it's almost disappeared. So we've really lost a lot of definition of the eye structure. Here's a radar. We want to thank the folks from Pagasa from that. That's the Philippines Weather Association down there, and you can clearly see here a very oblong looking ragged eye going on there. But on the same note,
point out Manila. It's hard to see on the TV there.
Manila is right up here.
Okay.
All right, so Manila's right up in through here. But we still have some pretty good structure to these bands around the eye. So regardless of how ragged it is, I think it's this band here that just came in and gave them the 70 mile an hour. So this one just probably came right in here and is probably still hammering this area with some gusty winds. So the worst of the weather in terms of the weather is moving into Manila. Now what we expect this to do, Chris, is pass on off toward the west. That's when the winds will come around and into the bay from the west side, and that's when they're going to get the worst of this weather into tonight. So again, I think the next advisory that comes out, this will be a weaker storm. It'll probably be a 2 at this point, maybe somewhere around 105 miles per hour. We'll have to see. It's not my call. It's the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. But then it comes into Hainan or in South China perhaps, and even into northern Vietnam as we go into Friday night and Saturday. But it also re-strengthens back to a Cat 3, 120, 125. So we're not done with Ramasoon at this point. And I think the fact that it's moving west pretty quickly now, we're going to start to limit our rainfall over the Philippines.
But then it's the wind and the possible surge. So once the main part of it gets through, it's not over. There's still that surge potential.
Worst of it coming in now. Still could gust to 100 miles an hour in Manila. Then over the next couple of hours as the storm moves to the west, the winds will shift around from a westerly direction, and that'll push that water back up into the bay. Toward the coastal areas, which is unfortunately where many of the population lives.
And this weekend, the areas to watch, you think?
Over toward the island of Hainan and also into North Vietnam here.
That's the big.
So these two. Looks like it's going to become pretty close and impactful. It's a Category 3.
All right. Storm Tracker Jim Cantori in the Tropical Update. We appreciate that. And keep it right here on the Weather Channel. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to take a look at where there are storms right now. We've seen a lot of storm activity and flooding in the Northeast. We're going to take a look at the areas we're going to be watching throughout the course of the evening, because we're here to keep an eye on things and break in when necessary. And let's take a live look right now at New York City. Rain coming in right now, Jim. You can barely make out the Empire State Building there.
Rain and fog, and people are still on the roads from this afternoon.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low, 75. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms. High, 91. Chance of rain, 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Boy, oh boy, Boy, has it been a soggy, traffic-filled evening around New York City. There is still a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock up and down I-95 here in the Mid-Atlantic. Here's a wide view of the rain, of which there is still plenty. And there's plenty of flood warnings going on as well, because we've had just so much rain here, not only today, but also back towards yesterday. If you're in Queens, maybe over towards Long Island, flash flood warning there until 10:15. Plenty of heavy rain still over New York City, and plenty of reports of this flooding as well. You go towards Hempstead, the underpasses beneath the Southern State Parkway are closed due to that flooding. We can jump a little bit further south. We're still looking at some scattered heavy rain and some isolated flooding. Zooming in towards the Raleigh area, a flash flood warning continuing here. That goes right on through the evening into about 8:45, and for good reason. Look at some of these rainfall reports. Almost 4 inches in just an hour there. Plus, we're still looking at the rain moving through coastal South Carolina. Top 10 tornadoes starts right now.
They're big and bad.
Folks, please take cover immediately.
The most terrorizing twisters of all time.
Unbelievable!
The deadliest.
I'll never get my husband's screaming out of my head.
The most destructive.
Damage is being done in Tuscaloosa.
A monster that rips a newborn from its mother's arms.
I was begging to die because I'd lost Leah.
An unpredictable giant that slams storm chasers.
Next thing you know, it's just this violent tumbling over and over and crush, crush, crush.
And a tornado so devastating, it still causes panic long after it's gone.
It wasn't just a little fear. This was a big, bad fear.
We're counting down the top 10 worst tornadoes. Tornadoes. They're the most ferocious forces that Mother Nature can muster up. Hello, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori, and prepare yourself for a wild ride as we roll out the top 10 worst tornadoes of all time. Here in the U.S., we average about 1,300 tornadoes a year, which on average kills 70 people. These twisters come in all shapes and sizes and can last seconds or be on the ground for hours. But we're talking about the most malicious supercells and extraordinary super outbreaks ever to touch down in the U.S.
When you see one of these monster tornadoes, you'll never forget it. It's etched in your brain forever because it's almost like you're having an outer-body experience. Like you can't believe what you're seeing is real.
It's always kind of shocking to see that nature can become so explosive and so deadly.
There aren't very many things that are capable of knocking houses down, and yet tornadoes can do that without a whole lot of trouble.
We often get questions about, well, why don't we just do something to dissipate tornadoes? Well, the answer is that energy concentration is so large that it would take something like a thermonuclear device to dissipate a tornado.
It's like watching a rotational bomb go off. And they're very dangerous. And they're a little bit mysterious. We don't exactly understand why they form, and we can't predict them very far in advance.
Our countdown criteria was determined by the Weather Channel's world-renowned severe weather experts and takes into consideration damage, deaths, size, and strength. So let's get started, and we do so with a real beast. It's one of the widest twisters ever recorded, and its unusual movement made it a nightmare for storm chasers. At number 10, the 2013 El Reno, Oklahoma tornado. It packed winds up to 295 miles per hour and grew to a staggering 2.6 miles wide. Although it stayed over mostly open terrain, its huge size and unusual movement caught dozens of storm chasers off guard. 4 of them, including well-known veteran researcher Tim Samaras, were killed when their vehicles were thrown.
The tornado has several violent multiple vortices within inside of it, and it makes a turn to the left. And while that's not completely unusual, it's not all that common. And that's one of the things that I think caught a lot of people by surprise was how it did that. The El Reno tornado is clearly going to be remembered for what occurred with storm chasers on that day.
This tornado made a rather abrupt left turn, but often as they make that left turn, they begin to shrink. This one actually was growing to its maximum width as it was making that turn, which made it very, very dangerous.
We had a tornado hunt crew that took a direct hit from this tornado as well. They were led by meteorologist Mike Bettis, who's extremely experienced and safety conscious. Here's a firsthand, harrowing account of what they went through.
That's not good for El Reno.
Got to get ahead of it, KP. Got to get ahead of it.
Hustle!
We find a wide shoulder to pull off on. Our 3 cars pull over to the side. We do a broadcast for roughly 2 minutes or so.
Look at that monster. This is a huge tornado.
And then we make the decision that we need to move.
We may actually quickly try to get in our cars and get south of this. That'd be the safest place to do that.
From the time we stop broadcasting to the time we end up getting hit, that's 4 minutes. The tornado expands by a mile and increases its forward speed by 20 miles an hour. Ends up being a perfect storm that just hits us broadside on the passenger side of our car and tosses us off into a field. And I remember yelling to the guys, "Get down."
Hold on, brothers. Hold on.
You know, duck down, and all I'm thinking is cover your head, get down below the windows. Next thing you know, it's just this violent tumbling over and over and crush, 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 and you're just being thrown. And then there's this moment I remember where we were lifted off the ground. It felt like an eternity. It was literally probably a second or two. We're floating in the air, and I'm having this thought, you know, man, like, am I dead? Is this kind of what it feels like to ascend to heaven? And I also remember at the same time, I mean, I saw my wife's face. She didn't say anything. It was just her face that appeared. And then next thing you know, crash. I mean, we come down, we hit hard, and we just start tumbling over and over and over again. I remember when we hit, I remember thinking that I was alive. I remember thinking, man, I'm not dead. I didn't die when we hit. And then we finally stopped, right side up. And I just remember screaming to the other guys, "Hey, are you okay? Are you okay?" And they all responded back. Everyone was alive, everyone was conscious, and it was just a huge relief to know that everyone had made it through it.
I was recording